Hey guys, it's Paul from Ashen. It's new comic book day for the week of December 6th, so we're going to get started right now.
Hey guys, Tim from Capes and Scowls on the comic book store, and we're going to get started now talking about the trades that came out this week. Also, we got in these sweet Batman short boxes that are all Batman-y and whatnot. Batman! Alright, so let's talk about it. I've got a new Humanoids hardcover. That's pretty cool. There's a whole series of these, if you enjoy that. I'm going to make this fall down, I know it. We've got a new Lumberjanes from Boom. We've got Sherlock Holmes, the retired detective from Caliber Comics. We've got, you know I like this one, Shirtless Bear Fighter. Yeah, right. So good. We got Star Wars, new volume of Star Wars. We've got Green Arrow, Volume 4. I feel like that was one of the first Rebirth books to come back, and why did that take so long to get Volume 4? Come on, Paul, we're wasting time. You got to answer these questions.
That's a bi-weekly too. I don't know.
We don't know why. Rick and Morty by Starks. We love Kyle Starks. Black Bolt. I read one of these once. It was okay. Batman and Robin Adventures. Volume 2, this is when it got rebranded, Batman and Robin, just like the show did. Baby Teeth, Volume 1 from Aftershock. It's creepy. Ed Brubaker, Conversations. Ever want to have a conversation with Ed Brubaker? He's a really good writer. Here's Cable. I hated this. Remember? God, I hated it. And Whiteout. Whiteout is a really good book. It's by Greg Rucka. And it is finally collected in one big volume. It's only $20. You should buy this one. This one rolls.
Up first, we have Not Sort of Ages. Sorry, I had to get it in one more time. It was that kind of thing. We have Astonishing X-men issue number 6. The story was great in this. I really liked the story. It's basically the end of the arc. I didn't like the change in art because it was so different than what it was. You're dealing from going from McGinnis, which is very straight lines, to Del Mundo, which is very abstract and very watercolor, and it was extremely distracting. The story, however, Shadow King is trying to escape. Xavier plays his trump card, and does he save the day? Does he save the day? We don't know, because I'm not going to spoil the book for you. But it's still worth reading. But I'm hoping that the change in art won't be permanent, because if it is, I'm probably off this title because it's just not good. It just wasn't great.
All right, gang. I just kind of stumbled into frame. I'm just kind of all over the place today. Who knows where I'll be? Anyways. My first book is from, what is this, Dynamite? Dynamite. It's Barbarella, number 1. Do you remember Barbarella? It was a 1968 sci-fi movie, had Jane Fonda in it, and questionable torture devices. Well, this book is a lot like that because there's some questionable content in here. This is not for the faint of heart. Barbarella ends up on a planet that is super religious, for lack of a better term, and she is bringing a biological weapon that needs to be confiscated. I'll give you a hint, it's her lady bits, and they have to take them from her, and, well, insanity ensues. If you like the cult classic movie, which is a lot of fun, if I remember it correctly, this is more of the same. The art was pretty good. I love, all the covers are great, so you're gonna have a hard time picking them out. I picked the cover A, Kenneth Rocafort, because he's the best. That's it. You should read it if you like that kind of thing, but know what you're getting into.
Next up, we have Witchblade, issue number 1. It's a reboot with a female artist and a writer. And what happens? This is a reboot from the 90s. So we lost the thong and the armor that only covers up the privates, and what is that left with? A really compelling story and great art. This book was really good. I liked the direction this is going. This is a reboot, so this is a rather soft reboot. You are going to be hearing a lot of what's going on through the original series, but for all intents and purposes, this is its own standalone series. It's not really going to be calling things to the original series, minus a few little things that are going to tie it together with the myths and how the Witchblade came to be. So, if that bothers you, sorry. I can understand, especially for a title that's been around for 20 years, to have to worry about basically starting from scratch with a new person. But this book was definitely worth it. The art was spectacular, and the writing was definitely enough that if you have any idea of who Witchblade is, you can jump in very easily. And if you have no idea who Witchblade is, and I'm not one who has actually read any of the comics, there's more than enough in here to be able to piece together what's going on and to get you involved and get you interested in how this series is going to go. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this one goes. Good job, Top Cow. And we're going to see how things move on from here.
And next, we've got Rock Candy Mountain. We've got more Kyle Starks goodness. And what can I say, Mr. Starks? You're still amazing. This one, a ton of hobo fighting on top of a train. It's everything we wanted. There's a nice little Macbeth kind of thing going on in here, too. I really liked it. Why aren't you reading this? I tell you all the time to read it. You read it. You do it now, because it's great. Read this book. Hobo fighting. And we got 2 more issues until it's over, so it's getting really good really quick.
All right, pick of the week time, and I actually have 2 again because that's just how it is. It's my story. I can write and I can do whatever I want. So we have Batman White Knight issue number 3, and also Batman issue number 36. We'll start off with the White Knight. We are continuing the story where the Napier, not the Joker, is doing everything he can to get rid of Superman. And his plan is working to perfection. Batman is splintering and he is losing everything around him. And finally the Joker is finally winning. But it's not an evil Joker. It's a good Joker that is basically using the intellect that he had as the Joker from a sane standpoint. And it's very interesting seeing that even though some of the things he's doing are somewhat underhanded, they are coming from a different direction, a good direction. And that makes things far more murky, but a much more satisfying storyline. The art has been great, and I'm excited to see how this one finishes out. Then we have Batman issue number 36, the new arc, and I loved everything about this book. And you can tell when I love a book because Tim will hate me, because I just start giggling and I want to tell him all about the book, and that probably pisses Tim off more than anything.
It does.
See? Batman and Superman are kind of at odds with each other because, remember, this is still not our Superman and our Batman. So even though they're friends and they've gotten their bond back together and they are best buddies, they're still having trouble working together. And a lot of that comes from their admiration for each other and their own stubbornness, willingness to budge. But they're trying to set up a double date between Superman and Lois and Batman and Catwoman, and the banter back and forth between Lois and Superman and Batman and Catwoman are amazing, and they are definitely what makes this series. It's really fun seeing Batman somewhat catty and bitter and still out of his element because this is new territory for him, being in a relationship that isn't 100% selfless, and he still doesn't know how to act in that, and Superman doesn't know how to take it either. But it was just so good, and it's definitely worth picking up. I've been a fan of Detective Comics for since Rebirth. Batman is now taking over as my favorite in continuity series. So definitely check out Batman. Tom King is doing a fantastic job at writing these stories, and I can't wait for more.
All right, guys, time for my pick of the week, and my pick of the week is Faith's Winter Wonderland Special from Valiant Comics. This is a happy little Christmas story, if you haven't figured that out yet, about Faith, and it gives you a little hint of her when she was younger. She used to always watch this one show, which was a live-action kind of Alice in Wonderland show, and this whole story focuses around what she remembers of the show, and it really has this message of use your imagination. Don't just be so worried about being an adult. Be yourself. It has a really nice message, but it's also this really great story. The art is amazing, and there's some twisted, very twisted Wonderland imagery. If you're a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, you have to read it. It's some of the craziest things I've ever seen. It's a lot of fun, and it's sweet underlining tones. So just get it. Valiant's awesome.
All right, guys, that is it. Another week down. Don't forget to check out these shirts for the entire Christmas season. Half of all the proceeds are going to be going to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, so we'll have a link in the description to grab one of these shirts. That is pretty much it. Don't forget to check out last week's stuff. Check out the stuff over here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Capes and Scouts channel, and we'll see you guys next week.